Coming to you live from the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios, it's the Cigar Pulpit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and with me by phone, we have listeners Noah. How are you, Noah?
I am doing good. I am joining you from sunny Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
There you go. How's the weather up there in Wisconsin?
You know, this is like the couple months of the year where it's actually not too bad.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, the mosquitoes have been bad, and it's been really dry lately.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's pretty nice weather this time of year.
Well, good. It's been about the same here. We haven't had too terribly much rain, and I have my little handy-dandy thermocell going here in the JRE Tobacco Aladino Mobile Studios. I don't know if you have one of these things, but I had the kind last year that had the butane refills and the little pads, you know, and it's supposed to create that little 15-foot radius all around and shit. And the problem with those is the butane and the pads, they just wore out like within 4 hours. And so I was going through a ton of refills. This one, though, I bought this year, and it's a USB powered, so it's battery powered. And then it's got like a little drop-in deal that it's good for like 36 hours. So
Are they a new sponsor? Is that what you're saying?
No, I wish, but it seems to be working. And the beauty of it is you can actually leave the thing plugged in while you're using it. So if you don't want to actually drain the battery, you can leave it plugged in and charge it as it's working. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, that's the free plug for Thermacell. So
yeah, I have a good old-fashioned bug zapper back here.
Oh, nice.
So it's like the satisfying noises of bugs dying. Except like some June bugs got in there last night and it started to like smoke. It was too big. So that was concerning, but the fact that June bugs were dying made me happy.
That's a good thing. They're too big for my salt gun. They're too armored up. And so all that happens is they just drop to the ground, and then I have to go and stomp them. And that's awkward.
Nobody likes June bugs.
No, they're just dumb. They're just dumb.
The fucking noise they make, and they kamikaze at your window.
Or in your hair. You're sitting outside, and they just decide to get right in your hair or your ear or something like that. And just, I hate them so much. Anyway, well, tonight I'm going to be smoking the Crux Guild Toro. It's the extra Marblehead. It's a 6.5 by 52 box pressed like torpedo Toro here, and it has an Ecuadorian wrapper and Nicaraguan binder and filler, and apparently is a medium to full bodied cigar. So what have you got there?
I have the Camacho Nicaragua Toro.
Okay.
I did not do any show prep. I just grabbed it out of the humidor.
It's all right.
I'm thinking it's a Puro, but I don't know for sure.
I don't know. I mean, it's at least got to have some Nicaraguan tobacco in there to be the Camacho Nicaragua.
Yes.
One
would think.
I mean, you could read the band. That's about the most show prep my typical co-hosts do.
Well, all it's telling me is Nicaragua, and that they are famous since 1962.
Well, there you go. All right, then. Well, why don't we go ahead and prep to cut the cigar? And the official cutting is brought to us by Dan the Man Ponder over there at Riverman Cigar Company. And guys, Dan the Man Ponder, he's got all kinds of great cigars for you to try in his walk-in as well as his cabinet humidors. He's got that 1,500 square foot covered patio out front as well as the lounge, so you can sit and enjoy those cigars. And I'll say this, it's a last-minute little event, but this Saturday, June the 10th, Dan is going to be having a little impromptu barbecue competition amongst some of his customers there. I think there's maybe 4 teams that are going to be competing. The guys from the Smokin' Butts and Tap and Ash podcast are going to be out there doing the judging. So if you're interested in some barbecue and you're in the St. Louis area, maybe swing by Riverman Cigar Company, pick up a cigar, and have a meal. So, and if you're not in the St. Louis area, they do mail order, so you can get some through the mail. So it's Riverman Cigar Company of Crestwood, Missouri, and it's time now to go ahead and cut the cigar. All right.
Did that come through okay?
What?
Can you hear my cut?
I can hear your cut. So you're not...
I was not premature.
That's good.
I even was a gentleman and wait for you to go first.
I appreciate that, but everybody gets a cookie, so that's the rule. So,
that's fair.
So how the hell have you been?
I've been good, man. How have you been?
Good. I can't complain. It's been busy, but it's been nice. And yeah.
I must say, it was a little cringe, that episode where I had to listen to What Ways You Have Sex.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and speak to that for a minute. The one must go from last episode. That was one of those ones that I had at least one text message come to me and say, I'm really shocked and actually disappointed that you didn't Adam Protocol that.
I was waiting for it.
And, it's just one of those things that since I was flying solo, I figured, there's got to be some amount of, like, wretchedness that enters into this episode. So I guess this is going to have to be it. So.
That was it. At least you didn't pull a Barry Stein and strip naked.
I did not strip down. No, I did not show the gut that you have to maneuver, But, what's funny is Saturday I went and hung out with the Smoking Butts and Tapanash guys. They had a little friendly barbecue competition of their own down at Scott's place down in Benton, Illinois. And there were like 7 teams, and it was kind of a potluck. If you came, you were supposed to bring a side. My side was a bag of cigars and beer, so it was good. But it was a good time. But that question came up in conversation there, and at least 2 other people agreed with me that was the choice, and for the exact same reason.
Yeah.
So
they're bigger gentlemen as well.
They are, men of size. Yes, men of size, and we talked about it, and I probably phrased it poorly by saying that you have to lift. The actual thing is you just kind of like swing and maneuver in such a way that it just kind of gets there. It doesn't. You don't lifting it by itself is actually very awkward. So.
So you're like the Fred Astaire of fat guy sex.
Yeah, you got to dance your way into that. Old Twinkle Toes or whatever.
So many visuals going on right
now. Well, hey, it's a good time.
It's my fault. I brought it up.
You did, and you have to own it now, so that's fine. What are you getting on the cold draw on your Camacho Nicaragua there?
I'm just kind of that earthy, and I am Team Nick on the whole earthy, by the way.
Yes.
Like, it's, to me, earthy is like barnyard hay, not cow shit, but.
Yes, it doesn't have to be cow shit. There are plenty of farms that smell like barnyard that don't even have animals, So
exactly.
It's just one of those things, but I'm getting, I'm sorry.
I have had manure to come through. Like on certain cigars, but generally when I say earthy, it's like soil, barnyard, like hay.
Yeah. Manure is a totally different thing, and you're right. I have had it on maybe a couple of different ones. Typically, very dark Maduros. Really those. But this Crux has a nice earthy component as well, a little bit of sweetness to it, and it's a good cigar. I mean, I haven't had it in this size, and I don't think I've had it as a box press. It's always been around, so I'm curious as to how that kind of impacts it. So, anyway. Getting the cigar lit up here. Now, Noah, I'm going to fill the listeners in on something here. Okay. And let them know that you and I text back and forth quite frequently about a variety of different things. But one of the things... I'm sorry?
I said yes. Lately it's been fat guy sex. But yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a topic of conversation right now. But one of the things that's a consistent with us is dead celebrities. And this started... I don't even know when this started. This started a long while back. And I guess it was one of those episodes where we were going back and forth debating whether or not this one celebrity had died or not. And you reached out and told me that either yes, they were or no, they weren't. And from there, every time a celebrity dies, you just send me a text with the word, hey, the name, and an exclamation mark. And I can't tell you how many celebrities I have found out have bit the big one via those text messages.
I'm like the Grim Reaper if he was on TMZ.
Good, you really are.
Mm-hmm.
And you're usually very, very quick with it. Like, like I said, the first one that's letting me know that this has taken place. I mean, you're beating.
Yeah, I like to bring just a certain element of doom and gloom to every conversation.
Okay. So, but I will admit, I've been beating you. I think I'm ahead this year.
Yeah, I had a rough patch there. If you're away from your phone for any length of time, you really are like out of the loop on a lot of news.
For sure.
And so, yeah, that's usually when you bit me to it. If I'm not scrolling the gram and see something pop up or whatever it might be.
I don't think anybody died today as we're recording.
No, I think the last one I sent you was what, Tina Turner or something like that?
I think it was Tina Turner. Yeah.
And I remember I sent you one. I'm trying to remember if this is accurate, but I had told you Bob Saget died.
Yeah.
And this was after, he was invited on the show
multiple times.
Yeah, but I don't know if Jeff beat you to, if he let you know before or what, but that was a very memorable one.
Yeah, that one. Well, yeah, because obviously that prompted all sorts of different conspiracies, including the fact that where was Jeff at the time of this taking place?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he died under fairly mysterious circumstances.
Yes.
He seemed pretty healthy, and he was bad, and
Yeah, and then the family, they didn't want any of the autopsy reports and all that information coming out, so they kept it all very quiet. So,
So Jeff still is a person of interest from what I understand.
Oh, I'm 100% convinced.
Yeah,
100% convinced.
Mm-hmm.
So, but what I thought would be fun is to play a little game, and hopefully this isn't just like so obvious that. It becomes lame. But I wanted to play a game of I'm going to name an actor and, actor, actress, celebrity. I'll name a celebrity. And, if you need a little extra detail of who they are, I can inform you of this. But, I want you to tell me if they're alive or not.
Okay, so alive or not?
Alive or not.
This could be like a new segment,
It could. I mean, it really could. I don't know. I mean, it depends on how much research somebody puts in, but.
All right, I'm excited. Let's get on with this.
Okay, so the first one is John Austin, or Aston. John Aston. Sorry.
So that would be Sean Astin's father. Is that correct?
You know what? It doesn't.
No show.
It is Sean Astin's father. Yes.
So he's got to be up there. I'm going to go on a limb here and say he's still alive.
He is still alive. So John Astin played Gomez Addams in the Addams Family TV show,
mm-hmm. Yes.
And he is currently 93 years old and was born in Baltimore. So you got that one going for you. The next one that we're going to go with.
What if any of these people die like tomorrow?
It's going to be really fucked up.
Yeah.
But let's be real. Everyone on this list is fairly old. So there's a real possibility of really any one of these people going at any given time.
Plausible deniability.
For sure. I mean, we're here recording. We didn't do it. I mean, then again,
Jeff, I don't know where Jeff is.
Yeah, exactly. You're by phone, so I mean, I don't even technically know where you are. So, the next one we're going to go with is American singer-songwriter Jerry Lee Lewis.
Ooh. You know what? What's funny about this is I vaguely remember texting you, I hate Jerry Lee Lewis, so I'm going to go with that.
You're correct. He died in October of last year. So
now he is the Great Balls of Fire singer.
He is.
And don't quote me on this. I want to believe married his 14-year-old cousin.
13-year-old cousin. Yes. Yes.
I was giving him too much credit.
Yes. He married his 13-year-old cousin, Myra Gale Brown. So
Great Balls of Fire seems a little more fucked up now.
And that in his 1957 hit, Whole Lot of Shakin' going on.
Yeah.
You know.
And the not so popular hit, I swear to God, I thought she was 18.
Exactly. She's family. It's okay. Now the next one, let's be real, that one's too easy. It was Dick Van Dyke, so I'm going to skip that one because we know that.
You know, the listeners, he's fucking 97, I think I want to say.
Yes, he is 97.
And he's married to like a 50-year-old woman.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And he's still active and shit. So, you know, I think he still is gonna be around for a little while yet.
He is still active. In fact, I'm pretty sure he was a consultant on the WandaVision, the Marvel show on Disney Plus. He helped out as a consultant in the first episode when they were back in the like 50s time frame. And, you know, they've kind of based that first episode on the Dick Van Dyke show. So he kind of yeah, he helped him out with that to tell him about different methods that they used for filming and for dealing with the black and white and all that. So, yeah, there you go.
It is very interesting.
So the next one here is Tippi Hedren. She's an actress, best known for being in The Birds, the Alfred Hitchcock movie in 1963.
Okay. Yes, I'm familiar. Also, not one of Hitchcock's best. I mean, at the end of the day, they're fucking birds, man. Like,
yeah, but dude, you get attacked by a whole ton of them. I mean, that's going to be a thing.
I like a bat. Like, I don't know.
Dude, okay, all right. We're going to take a quick pause. I'm going to tell you a little story. So, this is 2005. I've moved away from college. I've moved back to the area that I'm living now. And my roommate that I had in college, he had already gotten his degree, moved up to this area, and gotten an apartment. So I moved in with him. And I was, you know, basically, he was a roommate in my place in college, and then I was a roommate in his place, you know, back home. And I was poor, you know, poor college student, just, you know, starting off. And my entertainment on some weeknights was I would go to the bread store that was near me, and I'd get a loaf of bread that was, you know, past the date that they were selling very, very cheap, and I'd go down to the park and I'd feed the ducks because, you know, I like the ducks. I like feeding the ducks. And, you know, there'd be geese and swans down there sometimes too, and you feed everybody equally. No big deal. But one day I go down there and I park my car, walk over to the bench, I sit down, and it wasn't long at all. It was if it was a minute, that was it. But it was no time at all. I have this goose charging at me, and it's flapping its wings, and it's going crazy, right? And so, you know, of course, you get up, you walk, you know, kind of start stepping back. Dude, this thing kept charging at me and charging at me. It chased me all the way to my car. I got in the car, I shut the door, and it's kind of beating its wings against the door for a minute before it finally, like, goes away. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? This goose is, like, coming at me, right? And I watch it walk away as I'm, like, kind of backing out. I'm like, well, I guess I'm not feeding anybody tonight. I watch it walk away, and when I did, I noticed that underneath the bench, there were 3 little goose babies.
Oh.
So apparently they were chilling out underneath the bench. I didn't see them. I sat down, and I was sitting, like, essentially on top of them, and the goose did not like that. So, yeah, let me tell you, when you're attacked by a goose or whatever, The Birds suddenly becomes a much scarier movie.
Okay, I mean, yeah. I'll give you that. So we have learned that they protective of their young.
Very much so. Geese are dicks. That's what it boils down to. And I think and it's either geese or swans. I don't remember which one, but. And I'm sure a listener's going to fact check this, and if I'm wrong on both of them, then they're going to definitely let me know that. But I thought one of them, at like the kind of the elbow joint of their wing, they've got like a little barb to where when they're flapping their wings and hitting you with their wings, they're actually scratching the shit out of you with that barb, you know? So it's almost like the little barb on the velociraptor's feet, you know, the little talon.
That's what I was thinking when you said that.
There you go. Anyway, so Tippi Hedren,
I forgot we were doing this. I'm gonna go. She's dead.
She's actually alive, 93 years
Wow.
old.
Okay.
So
Fair enough.
she's older. Now the next one you probably know because he's actually been fairly active is Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks, yeah, he was a consultant on. I think they did, or maybe he was even involved in like producing it, but they did like a Netflix or a Hulu History of the World Part 2, I
That was
believe.
Hulu, yes, and yes, he
Yeah.
was involved in that. And they keep
Yeah,
threatening Spaceballs too, but that never seems to come to fruition.
that's Mel Brooks. Like you could not make half of those movies today.
No shit,
Like
man.
it's a treasure.
Blazing
And
Saddles is one of the best movies, but you're right, it'll never ever get like.
yeah,
I mean, you can't revisit that.
here's the interesting Mel Brooks trivia.
Okay.
His son is named Max Brooks, and he wrote World War Z.
Oh, the zombie thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was involved in World War Z.
Well, interesting.
I don't know if he had much to do with the movie, but he wrote the book anyway.
All right then. The next one here we'll go with is June Lockhart. She was the mother on Lassie and Lost in Space.
Huh. That's obscure, Mr. Miller.
I mean,
I'm gonna go alive.
She is alive, 97 years old.
97. It's because Lassie's been fucking saving her ass.
Exactly. He keeps telling everybody what well she's down.
Yeah,
So.
that the concept of that show is always bothered me. Like, like how did this family not get talked to by social services? Like,
well, yeah, their kid was in trouble every week.
Yeah, Timmy's in the well. No, it's okay. We got the rough collie out.
Yeah. Timmy's trapped in a field and about to get run over by a combine. Oh, Lassie took care of it, Yeah. All right. Now this next one again, you might know this, but we're gonna ask it. Burt Bacharach.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. He died February of this year at 93. Gene Shalit. He was on the Today Show. And he's
the mustache guy?
He's the mustache guy.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go alive.
Again, he is alive, 97. So
that seems to be the most common age, 93 and 97.
93 and 97 seems to be about the window there. So all right, we'll do this one. Noam Chomsky. He's a linguist, philosopher, cognitive scientist, historian, social critic, and political activist.
I'm going to say alive, and I'm going to say 97.
94, but you're right. So, all right then. Barbara Eden, best known as Jeannie in I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, yeah. I'll go alive.
Alive in 91. You're right. Pope Benedict the 16th.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he died December 31st of last year, 95. He, I believe, he's the first pope to resign since Gregory the 12th in 1415. And
and I think it was health reasons, but that was quite a while ago.
It was.
He hung on there for quite a while.
Yeah, it was 2013 that he stepped down. So citing a lack of strength of mind and body due to his advanced age. So
well, you know what? The good news is he could have become president of the United States.
Exactly. I mean, this is true. Tripping on the stage. Pat Robertson, 700 Club.
I'm gonna go alive.
93. You're crushing it.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these are really obvious. Like Francis Ford Coppola's on this list.
Well, he's not even all that old, is he? He's gonna be like in his 80s.
84. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Bennett.
Okay, Tony Bennett. I saw in concert this must have been like 2005.
Okay.
And I didn't think the reason I got tickets to that, I was like, well, he's not going to be around much longer. But he was still going, and he's to answer the question, he's still alive. But he was still performing up until like a year or two ago, and he got Alzheimer's, I believe.
Oh,
so he stopped performing.
Okay.
So hopefully he remembered where he left his heart.
Well, he's 96, so that heart could give out at any moment. Bob Newhart's on the list, but we both know that he's alive.
Yeah.
Although realistically, he's also 93. So a lot of people in their 90s here.
And Bob Newhart, like, always looked old. He's one of those guys that almost looked like he was born old, like Burgess Meredith or somebody like that.
This is true. This is true.
Like, every show I've ever seen him in, he looked old.
That's what's kind of crazy. You look back at like Cheers, and you're looking at the actors and whatnot. They're all in their like late 20s and up to like their mid 30s for the most part. I mean, Coach wasn't, but even Coach, he wasn't super old when Cheers was being filmed. So, but everybody looks so much older in that show. I mean, Frasier, I'm wanting to say Frasier was like maybe 30, 32 or whatever.
Yeah.
When that was going crazy.
Like when we were kids and they came out, we're watching and we're thinking they're so old,
Mm-hmm.
And they're younger than we are now.
It's really crazy, but okay. So you crushed it on the celebrity thing. So now
I would like to add,
yeah,
before we close this bit out, I would like to add a couple names to this list.
Okay.
Henry Kissinger somehow is still fucking alive.
I was gonna pivot this to talk about people that like were surprised are still around.
Yeah, I believe he just turned 100.
Wow. You know what?
But like,
let's Google.
Okay.
Let's Google here. So, yeah, Henry Kissinger. He is indeed 100 years old. You're right.
Yeah. And I think he was at least part of a book recently, like he wrote a passage or something. He's one of those people you think of like just as like long gone, like, because he was involved with like Nixon and shit.
Oh yeah, he was the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor under Nixon, and okay, let's bring up and Gerald Ford. He negotiated the ceasefire in Vietnam. Got the Nobel Peace Prize in 1973. I mean, hell, his family fled Nazi Germany in 1938.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. 100 years, man. So, no.
And to pivot from that, Carter, I don't know how Carter's still alive.
Oh, I know.
He's had brain cancer for like 2 years.
I mean, it's all that clean living and peanuts, I guess.
That's what it is, yeah.
And
building houses for the humanity there.
And Jeff has said it before, and I agree with him. I think Jimmy Carter, for as bad of a president as he was, he's probably the best example we have of a president in retirement. He's probably done more good in retirement after his presidency than during his time in office.
Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Any president, dead or alive, you got to pick one. Who are you smoking a cigar with?
Oh my gosh. That's an interesting question. I'm fascinated with the Kennedy era, specifically the Cuban Missile Crisis and everything else going on with that.
That's a good choice.
I think Kennedy's my safe bet there. But if I got to take like a flyer and go out on a limb and say somebody different than Kennedy, Nixon might be fun for no other reason than to sit and listen to him just motherfuck people.
Oh yeah, bitter.
Yeah, I want to hear what he has to say about everybody, because he's just gonna sit there and just rip into everybody and just express himself. So Nixon could be fun for that reason, but I think JFK is probably the top choice.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's Vegas money.
Yeah. Exactly.
Clinton would be an interesting one just because, of what he does.
Yeah, but where is the cigar? That's the thing. I mean, where are we smoking this cigar? The freaking Hustler Club?
Now that is one that you might taste manure on.
I mean, that all depends. Did it cross the street and go to the sewage plant, or did it just stay at the playground? You never know.
Yeah. I think the greatest fucking move ever by Cigar Aficionado was putting him on the cover.
So, another funny little fun fact there. They used to sell these tubes that had cigars in them with like the presidential seal, and they would sell them at like the gift shop at the White House. They'd have them on Air Force One. They sold them at the Pentagon with like the military seals on them and everything like that. And it was just something you could buy at a gift shop. And there's a cigar manufacturer that I know that actually produced those cigars. And Jose Dominguez. But anyway, and it was after the whole Clinton situation came to light. Can't get those cigars. They don't do that anymore.
You got to fucking root it for everybody.
I know, right? You used to be able to buy cigars in the White House gift shop until, that went down.
Oh, God. So how's your cigar treating you so far?
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how far are you in?
Not very far. I'm still within the first third here, but it's smoking like a champ. My burn line is really great. I don't really have any wind through here for the most to speak of, so the burn line has been really razor tight. The draw on it's been great, which has been nice because typically with torpedoes, I always have to like cut it again because I never take enough off. But this time,
just like a haircut, you can always take more. You can't
exactly.
Take less.
You don't want to go too short. You just want to take a little bit and then see where you're at. What about you?
Good. The spice is really kicking up. I'm about the same. Just finishing up the first third there. Burn line's good. Giving off tons of smoke. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good cigar. Probably one of my this is the first time I've had this one, but
okay.
Probably already probably one of my favorite Camachos, I would say.
There you go. Yeah, I know the Triple Maduro is a big one at Riverman. A lot of people really like the Triple Maduro. I tend to think that's just a little too much for me. Like that one in the what is it? The M81 from Drew Estates, the Metallica cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
the Camacho Blue label. I think it's their Ecuador one. That one's a fucking powerhouse, especially in the Robusto.
Really?
Retro handling that one for whatever reason. I don't know. It's just I'll put hair on your chest.
Well,
and I want to say their red label. Did you?
I was saying. Speaking of retrohale, there's some spice on the Crux Epicure on the retrohale here. So that's where the Nicaraguan spice is hiding out in this cigar.
Yeah, it's usually where it is. Yeah, they have the red label Corojo. That's a pretty good powerhouse too. And I want to say, like a year or so ago, when they were doing their the Cigar Authority was listing their strongest cigars on the market. I think the Camacho Corojo placed I want to say top 3.
Oh, really? I did. I actually smoked that. Not like on the regular, but when I pop by Total Wine and hit up their humidor, a lot of times that's one of the ones that I'll grab from there is the Camacho Corojo, the red band one.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, very good. Well,
you pairing with anything, Mr. Miller?
Iced tea. I don't have anything fancy going.
I could have guessed that.
What about you?
I got some an impulse buy. I bought some jalapeno cornbread flavored moonshine.
Okay.
It just sounded so weird,
And
it's not the best.
Who would have thought that jalapeno cornbread moonshine would not be a stellar beverage choice? But
live and learn.
Hey, you know what? You're like me. You see something new, and you're just like, I have to try it because it could be my new favorite thing.
That's right. That's the 3 letters, man.
Yeah. Every time. Yep. Every time I go to the grocery store. You're kind of coming in a little weird there, Noah.
Oh.
I don't know. No, your signal's kind of weird. Have you moved?
No.
Okay. I don't know. You want to say something there? And
yeah, I was gonna say I knew improved is even better than new. But...
let's do this. Let me hang up. Call you right back. See if we can get a better connection going. Okay, hang on. Okay, we're gonna try this. Technology, guys, it's always a bitch. We're gonna try and reconnect here.
Hey, who is this?
Yeah, you're back and you're better.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah.
Who is this?
Fucking Apple.
I know. I was just telling everybody. I'm like, technology. It's always fun. But anyway, so. All right.
So the signal is new and improved now.
It's much better, exactly.
Oh,
so
perfect.
Yeah, I always try to do that. So like anytime there's the new flavors of M&Ms or any of the candies and shit like that, you never know. It could be your new favorite snack. Typically,
and I tell you what,
not. But
that palate test you did with the cereal,
yeah,
that should be on your resume.
It's one of my favorite shows because it went down so well.
Yeah, it's you ate cereal and Gator ate humble pie.
He did, and you know what? He did buy me the Ashton ESG, so I'll give him credit for that. He did
fine cigar.
He did suck it up and actually give me the cigar that he owed me. So that's good. But
that is good.
Especially given the price point, I was kind of thinking that it was going to be one of those things where it took a while, but he was quick.
That's a very underrated cigar, I must say.
It is, because here's the thing.
Doesn't get enough love.
No, because the wrapper on it everybody who goes crazy for the Opus X, it's using a lot of the same tobacco as the Opus X. It's just, not branded as such. So,
and a lot more readily available than the Opus X. For sure. Although, do you know how much those, after that fire they had?
Yeah.
Oh man, you're not gonna be able to touch those.
No, the aftermarket on those is gonna go nuts.
Yeah.
It was already crazy with people. Every time Dan gets in Opus X over at Riverman, there's always inevitably somebody that comes in, and you just know they're buying some just for the purpose of going online and trying to resell it. And it's obnoxious, but what are you gonna do? You're making your money. And I know some retailers, when they get them in, they'll mark them up. They'll actually put the markup, on the cigar so they can capture some revenue. I don't necessarily know if I think that's a great idea. I think, if you have a formula as a retailer and you have your typical markup that you do, don't go additional just because it's something rare that people, will pay extra money for. I don't know. That feels a little gougy to me. But
you took the word out of my mouth.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
But nonetheless, you're right. With that fire, it's going to be the aftermarket on that's just going to be insane. But why don't we now go ahead and jump into this?
We all need to live united, but one must go. Brought to you by United Cigars, makers of La Giana Havana, Abuelo, Red Anchor, Firecracker, and of course, United Cigars. Distributors of Jose Dominguez, Garofalo, Montosa, and Terra Nova, and the highly acclaimed Atabey, Byron, and Bandolero. Buy United, Smoke United, Live United, United Cigars.
Now, that intro just prompted me to reminded me of something. You just had an Atabey.
I did. I was feeling fancy, yes.
You were obviously feeling fancy. Let's talk about your first Atabey experience.
Yes. So I heard a lot about them, for a long time, but I was kind of turned off by them. I thought they might be too mild.
Yeah.
Okay. And for that price point, generally I would go like a Padron, 50th, or what the hell, selected. What else did the selected tobacco? The Grand Poema. What's that called?
The Byron or the Bandolero?
Byron, the Byron.
Yeah.
So traditionally, I'd smoked the Byron, but I thought, I've never had an Atabey, and I could not have been happier with that. It was so complex, so many flavor changes. Just like the cigar smoked itself was phenomenal.
See, that's the thing about the Atabey is that you're right. Strength-wise, it's not a killer, but it's the flavor components that you get from an Atabey that are just lights out.
Yeah, it's just a truly great cigar. Probably top 3 I've ever had in my life, I would say.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that.
So it was a birthday cigar, so you gotta celebrate.
That's right. You did just have a birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. And how old are we now?
Oh God, it troubles me to say, but 39.
See, whatever. I've still got a couple years on you. You're fine.
Yeah. I got a lot of street miles on me, though.
I'll tell you,
city miles.
40 is not the big deal that everybody tells you it is or acts like. 40 is not the big deal. For whatever reason, 41 was the big deal.
Really?
Yeah. It's like once you cross into the 40s, that's when suddenly it's like you wake up and you're like, oh, my back is killing me. And, whatever. And I'll say that like 41 is also where, not to get all like deep and dark and morbid or anything, but that's when like all the thoughts in my head of like, oh my gosh, how much time do I have left? What do I want to accomplish? This and that. Like, all this kind of stuff starts kicking in with 41.
Shit.
So I'm just saying, enjoy 39 and 40, bud, because 41 is when it kicked in for me. So
were you that way with your 30s? Like, was 31 harder for you than 30?
No, my 30s were fine. I had no issue whatsoever with my 30s for whatever reason. 40 and like I said, 40 was no big deal either. I had an awful lot going on at 40, so maybe it was one of those situations where because I had so much going on, I really didn't process that, I didn't think too hard about it. It was just another birthday. But 41, things had kind of settled down enough and whatever to where, 41 is when a lot of that shit kind of like kicked in.
Well, I that is depressing, but De Niro and Pacino both had kids at like 79 and 82, so
which is kind of fucked up. I'm sorry,
it's very fucked up.
It's really fucked up because that's not fair to those kids at all because they're never going to know their dad.
No, but they can share diapers.
That's true. They can save on the diapers.
Yeah. Pacino, like, he's got like this 28-year-old girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
And he had the audacity to be like, I want a paternity test.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Well,
it turns out it was Fredo's kid.
Ah, Fredo, my brother.
No, it was definitely Pacino, and it's disgusting.
The thing about that though too, at 48, that's not really safe for her to be having kids.
No, I think she's like 28.
Oh, I thought you said 48.
No.
Okay. Oh, 28. Yeah, she's in the window, but 40. Okay, never mind. I misheard you.
Sorry.
Yeah. So. Well, do you have a one must go that you want to present to the group?
I got a couple ideas. It's hard to get like 4. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you can think of like a couple.
You can do 3. You can do. I mean,
Okay. All right. Fine.
It doesn't have to be 4.
Let's try to stay topical.
Oh boy.
It's not going to be fucking fat guy sex.
I appreciate that. I think we've beaten that dead horse into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. One must go. You have veto power if this sounds stupid, but
whatever.
June bugs, mosquitoes, spiders, summertime bugs. What's going on?
That's a rough one, actually. It shouldn't be a rough one, but it is a rough one because I really dislike spiders.
Mm-hmm.
June bugs will stay because they're annoying as hell, but they're harmless. They're just gross and harmless.
Yeah.
I think I've got to go with mosquitoes.
So you're getting rid of mosquitoes.
I think I'm getting rid of mosquitoes because I'll be honest, when my day comes and I'm hopefully standing at the pearly gates, at least before they kick me down, when I'm standing there, the one question I have to ask is, what was the fucking point of the mosquito? The only thing I can think of is that it just transfers disease.
Yeah. I mean, depending on where you are, yeah.
Yeah.
But like bats eat a shit ton of them, right?
There's other bugs than mosquitoes that bats can eat. They can eat moths. They can eat all kinds of different things. Same with frogs.
I mean, there's so many damn mosquitoes that I think it makes up a fair portion of their diet. Kind of like those whales that eat those tiny, like, what are they called?
The krill or whatever.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. They just eat such mass quantities of them. So I think if you're getting rid of mosquitoes, it might have some sort of like butterfly effect,
ripple effect,
ecosystem. June bugs, I don't think serve much of a fucking purpose, and they're only here for like a month or two.
That's true. I think they're already pretty much done here.
Yeah. Now
we got them fairly early. I feel like
the thing about them, up here we did too because it was so wet.
Yeah.
For a while. The thing about mosquitoes is there's ways to get rid of them, like you were talking about. You were shrilling for that company earlier.
Oh yeah, Thermacell creates the little 20-foot barrier around me.
Yeah, they could sponsor. They're a good sponsor. You can't really do anything about spiders. I mean,
no,
because they come when you're sleeping, doing God knows what.
This is true. I just encountered one earlier today. I was moving a box, and it was on the box.
It was terrifying. I remember seeing arachnophobia when I was a kid.
Yeah,
that's stuck with me. You strike me as a guy that because of all the tea you drink, they could probably just taste it through your skin. So the mosquitoes are probably all about you.
Oh, mosquitoes love me. Between everything, yeah. No, if anybody's ever sitting out with me, they're gonna be just fine because they will be drawn 100% to me. It's obnoxious, and I've tried every damn thing out there. Every stupid gimmick of a mosquito repellent you can think of. Off came out with that stupid belt clip thing. You could remember that? You could clip it to your belt, and it would like create this like force field around you. Well, it was bullshit. It was just this thing clipped to your belt. And
I've never heard of this.
Oh, when would this have been? Maybe 2012 kind of time frame, I guess, when I was using that. And it was worthless. I barely used it.
Please tell me you wore it with your kilt.
I didn't have the kilt at the time. No, I did not. But, but then off, like the actual spray, I hate Deep Woods off because, dude, it stinks. It makes you so wet and tacky, like on your skin and everything. And I always have to shower off before I go to bed when I go inside after sitting out and smoking cigars because, the last thing in the world I want to do is have my bed and sheets and pillow and mattress just soaking in all that DEET,
Especially when you have night terrors.
Yeah, I know, right? The man in the top hat's going to get me and smother me in DEET. But, right now the Thermacell's doing well. And I'll tell you, I got my fire pit this year, and I was using that a lot in the early spring when it was still cool out at night. And just the natural smoke coming from the firewood repelled a ton of bugs. Now, it was early enough in the year that I don't know if mosquitoes were all that terribly bad at that point yet, but I didn't get very many bites, if any, during that period of time either. So I'm going to say that helped.
Yeah, I have fairly good luck just with cigar smoke and a bug zapper to where it's like they're out there, but, they just kind of blend in,
Yeah.
So
I have a bug zapper. It's just I don't have anywhere good to hang it. So
I think I might have to go with spiders, to be honest with you.
Okay.
So
I mean,
they're we should, in a perfect world, we'd have none of these things, but
true.
I'm gonna get rid of spiders.
But then there's those little cute ones that you see. I've seen the meme. It's the little cute fuzzy spider, and it says something like, you hate me, but you're just. I look at you, and you're the roommate that I've been living with for the last 3 or 4 years, or something like that. And, you feel a little bad for the little fuzzy ones. No? No?
Not so much.
All right. Well, there we go. So you're getting rid of spiders. I'm getting rid of mosquitoes.
The One Must Go segment was brought to you by United Cigars. United, we smoke.
Okay.
I got to interject here. I think I prefer the one with Jerry Pulaski
over the Hateful Shrew.
Yeah, it just seemed he seemed more engaging and just you were definitely not out of his league. You know what I mean?
This is true. I was, I am not. We were on the same level, or at least, whatever. So yeah, I was not in his level, as I was told. But I agree.
She's a local St. Louis gal, right?
Yes.
So Pulpit Fest, I think a group of us should go in like Ager House or something.
I mean, I don't want to be present, and I'm not going to say yes or no here on the cast for court purposes or anything like that. But I mean, if it were to happen, then boy, that would really suck for her.
She's probably trying to just find some new fucking passwords for Hulu right now.
I hope so. Although, it's my understanding that she ended up back with her old boyfriend, so maybe he's got Hulu and she can deal with that. So, whatever.
Fair enough.
Whatever.
Que sera, sera.
Hey, you know what? Apparently, going back to the guy that cheated on you multiple times was more her level. So, whatever. I'm not bitter.
Yeah, you got a soundbite, so
you know what, and look, for what it's worth, she had a good voice, so
it is very soothing.
It works out. So, so I'm at the halfway point of my cigar, and I'm still digging it. The earthy tone is still there. There's a little bit of spice that's crept into the smoking experience now, and it's just all around. I really enjoy the Crux Guild. It's the orange band for anyone who's in the humidor and looking at the Crux cigars and trying to determine which one I'm talking about. It's the one with the orange and gold and white band. What about you?
I'm getting a lot of black pepper notes, especially through the nose. Mm-hmm. I'm getting slight notes of jalapeno cornbread.
I mean, I would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that the jalapeno cornbread mixed with the natural spice of a Nicaraguan cigar probably is creating quite the spicy situation there.
It's a pairing, yeah. It's a pairing for sure. It kind of, anytime I smoke a Nicaraguan Puro, you had turned me on to the Reserva Real Nicaragua.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just where I go to when I'm really craving that.
I need another box of those things. I haven't had a box of those in a little while, and those were just my great everyday, mm-hmm. I just want a cigar or driving cigar or something like that because, dude, that Reserva Real Nicaragua is just such a, great blend, and it just smokes so wonderfully.
Yeah, it scratches the itch for sure.
Exactly. Well, why don't we go ahead and get into the Villiger Entertainment segment here, and that's brought to us by the fine folks at Villiger Cigars.
I thought you had a soundbite.
You know what? I do. Hang on a second. Yeah. I got to bring it up here. It's on my phone, so I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it because I think technically it's going to play that way, but we'll see here. Let me see if I can do this while you're on the phone. I don't know.
The Villiger. This spot is brought to you by Villiger Cigars. If you haven't tried them, you're missing out. Find yourself a Villiger cigar. You can go to their website and log in and find the store locator, find out where they are. If you don't have it in your local brick and mortar, go in and ask for it.
There you go. If you don't have it in your local brick and mortar, go in and ask for it. It's great cigars.
I was hoping to have some in my humidor because I won a contest recently. I don't know if it's like a post office issue or what. But it doesn't seem to be here.
I mean, it is. It is a post office issue, specifically the fact that I haven't gotten to said post office with your box yet. So no, that's on me.
Okay,
it's all prepped. I just need to do it. And the sad part is I'm at 3 post offices every Wednesday, dropping off newspapers. So there's really not a good excuse other than the fact that on Wednesday mornings I walk out of the door and leave your package and a couple of other packages sitting there that really, really do need to get out. But nope, that's on me.
I've never had a Villiger, and I was all excited.
You're gonna have a Villiger. You're gonna have 3? I think it was 3 Villiger cigars, or 3 or 4. I don't remember. It was a little multi-pack, and then the 3-finger case. You're gonna get that too. Yeah.
At some point, this should start accruing a VIG, I think.
I might be able to pull that off too. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got to pull that off for the other guys. And you know what, too? That means I also have to crack open those boxes and add more shit to them. So it might add to the time frame. I don't know.
We'll see. Need to stock. You need to stock up on cigars because, from what I understand, you are giving everybody that comes to Pulpit Fest some cigars too.
I mean, typically in years past, there have been cigars at Pulpit Fest. Yes, actually. Okay. On Friday night when we get together at Top Shooters, that does tend to happen. So there are cigars involved. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're thinking you're trying to put me on the spot, and in reality, you're actually more accurate than you realize. So there you go.
all the more reason to come.
There you go. So, what are you watching these days?
Okay. So, and I think I texted you about this too. So, there's this show I never heard of it. It came out, I want to say, in 2022.
Okay.
And it's called From, right?
Yes.
It's fucking phenomenal in the sense that it's just like from the first scene you're like drawn in, right?
Okay.
And you have no idea what's going on. And I believe I'm trying to think what network. I want to say it was Amazon TV or something, something like that.
All right.
Apple TV. And so there's 2 seasons out. And so I don't even think the first season's available anymore. I think they were just had it out for like a month or something. So I binged it, which I'd never do. But I just couldn't. It was like a good book. I just couldn't put it down. So I want to say it was like 10 episodes the first season.
Okay.
And it pulls you right in. I think it's on. They want you to subscribe to like, I want to say it's called like MGM Plus or something to get that's where the show is actually on.
Is it okay? I'll have to look for it. I don't know.
I'm sure there's I'm not very tech savvy, but I'm sure there's probably a way you can get it like legally or otherwise. But so you get pulled in. I don't know if you ever saw Lost.
Okay. Nah, I tried, but the first season, it was so weird, and I just didn't. Normally, something like that, it's one of those ones maybe I'll have to revisit, but I'll be honest, no, I did not finish.
Yeah, it gives you a headache. It's a tough show.
Yeah.
Like, it's so one of the main, I want to say he's a producer or a writer from that show, is involved in this, and also is one of the main actors from Lost. I can't think of his name.
Okay.
But he's the main actor in the show, the black guy. I can't think of his name, but
okay.
Yeah. So basically, it kind of reminds me of like this old Twilight Zone episode where there's this town, and you go there. It's just like an unassuming town, and you get out, and once you cross this like threshold, you can't leave this town.
Huh.
And so, at nighttime, all these monsters come out and kill you.
Oh shit! But
the monsters are like just look like humans. So there's just like human-looking monsters.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. And the only thing that keeps them away, they're only in this town. And what keeps them away is like the symbol you put outside of your building, like the talisman or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And so we don't know anything about this town or these monsters. And people are coming from all the world, all over the country, just winding up in this town. And we don't know why. they're trying to get out. They can't. We don't really know anything, but it's just so captivating that it draws you right in. So I finished that first season, and then the other night I watched. Actually, I binged this too. It was I want to say Discovery Plus, and it was called something like The Mysterious Case. It was like a documentary, like a 6-part documentary. The Mysterious Case of Natalie Grace or something.
Okay.
It's kind of like a true crime. Like it's really fucked up. It's worth a watch.
Is it actually true crime or is it like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's this family that adopted this little person.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And she was claiming she was from the Ukraine. She was claiming that she was like 4 or 5 or something. But they take her to shower and she already has like pubic hair and stuff.
Oh shit.
So yeah, and then she's having her period. So it's a whole thing, and it ruins this kid. Like, if you ever saw the movie The Orphan,
I did not know.
She basically tries to kill the family, and then and then you're finding out there's more to it. Like, then the parents are like involved. It's really Tiger King-esque in the sense that all these characters are all like fucked up. And,
interesting.
Like you just hate every one of them in a different way, and they're all just pathetic. But it's cringe, but it's good. So that's what I've been watching.
All right. Well, I'll have to check both of those out. They actually both sound pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think they'd be up your alley, honestly.
Okay. I'm almost done with the Larry Sanders Show. I actually watched some of that today. I'm down to the final episode that I still need to watch of that, and then at that point I can move on and get out of the early to mid '90s, era that I've been spending time in. But
it was a good time. It was a good time, the early '90s.
You know what? That show, it's really interesting to watch because you're looking at it and you're like, that guy's dead. That guy's dead.
Mm-hmm.
That guy's career is dead. Haven't seen that guy in forever. Oh, there's Phil Hartman. I really miss Phil Hartman, and whatever. And then there's Jeffrey Tambor, who you're just like, oh yeah, he did Arrested Development after this. And then what was the show that he did where he was the drag? Was he drag or trans? I can't remember.
Jeffrey Tambor?
Yeah.
That's not ringing a bell. I could. The funny thing is, I could see that though.
Yeah, he did one where he was dressed. He was either dressing like a woman or he was transitioning. I can't remember, and that was relatively recent, I think. But yeah, it's just kind of crazy.
Here's a question maybe for your Google.
Okay.
So Phil Hartman did like a murder suicide with his wife, right, or something like that.
She
right?
killed him. He didn't kill her. She killed him.
But they both died, right?
I am pretty sure they both died. I think she killed him and then she killed herself.
Okay, so that would be a murder suicide.
Yes, but I just want to clarify that she's the one who did it, not him.
Yeah. I want to say, and again, this is a question for your Google. I think it has an Eau Claire, Wisconsin connection, which is the town I'm from. I don't know if it happened in Eau Claire or maybe their kid went to school in Eau Claire where it happened. There's something to do with Eau Claire. I don't know. I don't even know how you could look that up. But
I'm Googling Phil Hartman, Wisconsin. The couple had no children of their own and raised Bergen, and Sean in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and then Aladino, Minnesota. So, yeah, I guess...
so I didn't make that up then.
Nope, nope. I guess... Yep. So I guess their kids must have gone on to... Yeah, somehow or another they must have ended up in Wisconsin and then Minnesota. So
yeah, Eau Claire's a big college town, so I wonder if they went just college here or something. I don't know. But
there you go. Well, you got a connection to Phil Hartman there. Now I do still need to catch up on the Righteous Gemstones because that third season's coming very rapidly.
Couple weeks.
Yeah.
I need to fucking finished. I'm like 5 episodes behind on Succession from this last season.
So I don't know how many episodes there were total in this current season, but the last one that I watched was the one where, spoiler alert for anybody who's watching Succession and isn't caught up. Well, wait a minute. Where are you in Succession?
I want to say I have like 5 episodes left. I'm trying to think of the last episode I saw.
The last one I saw was the wedding.
Okay, so I'm like 2 after that.
Okay. So you know what happens in the wedding episode.
Yeah, I sent you a Hey Logan Roy text.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And that's right. That's what I was bitching because this journalism group called Pointer, they send out a roundup email every day of different, or Neiman Labs, that's what it was, not Pointer, Neiman Labs. They send out a roundup email with links about different stories about within the industry kind of thing. And they had a freaking obituary for Logan Roy in this, and I'm just like, you sons of bitches! Like, I haven't watched it yet, and you're like putting out an obituary for a fake character. It's like, what are you doing? But yeah, so anyway, no, I was spoiled that way. But yeah, that was the last episode that I watched.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll get done with that in time for Gemstones because I love that show too.
Yeah, I need to finish. I just need to finish Succession, and I need to power through Gemstones real quick before. But Gemstones is one of those shows that I can sit and just binge it. I actually did that with the first season, and because it's just so wonderfully written, and the characters are just fucking ridiculous.
For me, what makes that show is Baby Billy. Like, I just could not get enough of him. Oh, he's my favorite.
Baby Billy. I always liked when John Goodman would come in, and he was like the voice of reason with all these other people. But then, he's this coming off as this nice, sweet, evangelical kind of guy, but man, he's fucking gangster though too. Like,
we found that out last season.
Yeah, it's like when he turns it on, he's just. Oh wait, so you found that out in season 2?
Did you say you haven't watched season 2?
No, I haven't watched season 2 yet.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, okay, all right. Well, no, that's fine. I that tells me that I've got more John Goodman to enjoy. So no, I'm happy about that. But yeah, but okay, good. So,
and if you like Righteous Gemstones, the same people like Danny McBride and a lot of the same characters and producers are involved, and they've done 3 HBO shows now. So
really,
Eastbound and Down, of course.
Oh, I love Eastbound and Down.
Which is phenomenal. And then,
although I feel like the first season of that show was the best season of that show.
Yeah, it was awesome. I enjoyed it all the way through.
Yeah.
But another one that doesn't get enough love, and I thought it was hilarious and actually really well done, like plot-wise, was a show, and I think they only did 2 seasons, but it was a show called Vice Principals.
You know what? I have it on my list. I haven't watched it yet, though.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. A lot, like Baby Billy's in there. The sister from Righteous Gemstones is in there. And so it's a lot of, if you like those type of shows, you'll like Vice Principals. It's really good.
All right, I'll have to check that one out. And so Righteous Gemstones is coming back. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's been like relevant that's come along that I'm like, oh, I need to watch that. I did see that the last season of Jack Ryan on Amazon is actually coming surprisingly sooner than I thought. I don't remember the exact date for that. I guess I could Google that, but that's actually going to be coming along here a lot sooner than I thought, which is kind of nice since I not too long ago watched season 3. I don't know if you watched that at all. June 30.
No, never got into that show. I've heard good things, but I never got into it.
Yeah, June 30th on that one. So, end of the month.
And I'm kind of like a hipster in the sense that if somebody like really likes a show, talks about, oh, you got to see this. I'm kind of like I just now watched Breaking Bad like a year ago.
Breaking Bad's a good show, though. What did you? I mean, okay, so let's stop for a moment and talk about that, because like if you only recently watched it, there were years and years and years of hype on it,
Mm-hmm.
And I find that sometimes when a show or a movie is really hyped up like that,
Uh-huh.
it's really hard for it to live up to that. What did you think
Yeah.
of Breaking Bad?
That's kind of how I felt going into it.
Yeah.
But I would say I was pleasantly surprised. I think it was a lot better than I thought, And so yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I started Better Call Saul a little while ago.
See, I haven't watched that yet.
I'm only a couple episodes into that one.
I've heard that one's a little slow to get going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is.
But
Yeah.
I guess by the end, it's just like, I mean, there's people telling me it's better than Breaking Bad. So
I've heard that. Yeah.
So I'm like, well, then I guess I have to give it a shot. But
I think they had more seasons. It's kind of an undertaking, I think.
Okay.
So it will probably take me a while. But
yeah.
But the important thing in the Villiger Entertainment segment is we can both agree that the pinnacle of all entertainment and the greatest show by far ever is The Sopranos.
Sopranos, by far.
Yeah,
It
by
doesn't get better than that. Nick Gervais and I have talked about it, and he contends that seasons 1, 2, and 3 and the second half of 6 are like the best TV, and that 4 and 5 and the first half of 6 are good, not as good as the other seasons within the show, but still better than like pretty much anything on TV.
Yeah, it was phenomenal, and it holds up. It's timeless. Like I've watched that show beginning and end probably like 5 times.
I'm like 5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah, and I just recently rewatched it probably like a year or so ago in conjunction with the Talking Sopranos podcast,
Okay.
where they revisit, and it just like you'll notice certain things you never noticed before, and I could talk about Sopranos all day.
That that podcast, I tried doing that where I would watch the episode, then listen to their episode, or vice versa, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the problem was it was a relatively new podcast at the time. And so what ended up happening is I just started like continuing along on the show, and I quickly outpaced the podcast. And so like now that they've been on for a little while longer, I probably ought to consider doing that again, so that I can go back to doing that, because you're right, you learn so much little behind the scenes stuff that you didn't know.
Exactly.
So interesting. Well, all right. Well, that's the Villiger Entertainment segment here. And now
the Villiger.
Villiger. And then we'll move on to something else here in a second. Well, why don't we go ahead and jump into this now?
Guess what, motherfucker?
It's time for 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week. And you were just talking about Tiger King just a little bit ago.
Yes. Dude, for my money, behind Sopranos, best thing that's ever been on TV.
I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. Okay, so a little flag going back to the Villiger segment for a second. So Tiger King 1 was, I feel, pretty perfect.
Yes.
Thoughts on Tiger King 2 and the Doc Antle miniseries?
Okay, so let me first by saying, like, this was like almost too perfect timing. Like, I'm not totally convinced that the fucking coronavirus wasn't just manufactured just to force people at homes just to watch Tiger King.
Yeah, I could see it.
It came out where everybody, like at the start of COVID, where everybody was home, and just they were forced to watch this debauchery. And it was like Jerry Springer meets Maury Povich meets, it was just like just captivating
with tigers.
Yeah, and you're like, well, this guy is the worst. I can't imagine anybody worse. And the next episode, you'll find somebody worse. And
and then they end that one episode by basically saying, "Oh yeah, and Carol Baskin killed her husband," and you're just like, "What?"
Yeah. And so a little inside baseball. So the very first scene of Tiger King.
Okay.
So it was actually going to be about snakes.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, and so they were at a place that I'm familiar with. It's the story for another day, but a pretty famous reptile breeder, and they were originally going to do an expose on that, and then for whatever reason they ran into some tiger people, and they're like, if you want to fucking know real fucking weirdos, tigers is where it's at.
Yeah.
So they kind of changed the direction of the documentary and started filming Tiger King. But it could have been, it could have been about snakes. But yeah, it was just fucking just, oh god. But yeah, the follow up is it's not. I mean, they were just cashing it. It's kind of like a lot of sequels where they were just cashing in on and you can't blame them. But yeah, they did not hold up.
It felt like they had extra footage that they were like that they cut from the first one, and then Netflix comes to them and says, we need a sequel now. And they were like, well, we got all this other stuff, so let's just go ahead and do this, and
I think that's precisely what happened.
It was kind of garbage, I think. And then the Doc Antle one, I was bored with that. That was, I think, 3 episodes. And
that was like Godfather. That was like Godfather 3.
Yeah, that one was just kind of boring. That one was, and it shouldn't have been, because like realistically, the guy has a really messed up history and background and everything just in and of himself. But it just
literally every character does. Like literally every character could have a show.
But yeah, it's well. And did you see? I guess there was a news report. I'm trying to. I feel like it was maybe late last year, but talking about how Carol Baskin is saying that, oh yeah, no, her husband's alive and well down in, I think, the Dominican or somewhere like that.
Yeah, I think I read something like that. Yeah.
And it's like, well, are we just taking her word on it, or are we like verifying this, or
if there's any trustworthy person, it's Carol Baskin.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. She might as well be on The View.
Hey, bitch, Carol Baskin.
And not only was it perfect timing for the show, just the world we live in, where like you watch a first episode and you're on the internet and there's already memes.
Yes.
Like, yeah, it could not have been better timing.
It really was just absolutely perfect entertainment.
It was like created in a lab.
In Wuhan, perhaps.
Yeah, and I have a buddy that lives in Beaufort, South Carolina.
Okay.
And one of the guys, I can't remember which guy, one of the guys in the show lives in Beaufort.
Really?
I think he was the asshole on the jet ski.
Okay. Okay. The fat guy that had the shop that. Okay. Yeah.
So his shop is in like Beaufort. It's really shady, or whatever.
Yeah.
So they got that guy, but then like I don't know if you're familiar with that lawyer and that fucked up family. That was a good show too, as a callback for the Villiger segment. That one that like killed his kid. He was on trial. He was a big time lawyer in Beaufort.
No, I don't know if I know that.
Oh, one. You don't. Oh, you know that. I can't. Of course, I can't think of his name. But he was that redhead ginger. No offense. He like killed his. They found he was probably going to get away, but then they found like a Snapchat video from the dog farm that I know you know what I'm talking. I can't think of the guy's name, but that was also Beaufort.
Okay,
and that's a good documentary too.
Okay. Well, I know that Joe Exotic has a website out where he is announcing that he plans on running for the presidency in 2024.
God bless him.
I don't quite know what's up with that. I do know that apparently for $400, I could purchase a 15-minute interview by phone with him for the podcast.
I was going to say, Christ, Miller, like, if you're looking for a co-host, a temporary co-host, like, is there any better?
I mean, it's only 15 minutes because I'm sure that's probably his phone allotment for the day at the prison. But, you know.
Do you think he does cameos?
Boy, if he doesn't, that's a missed opportunity. But I don't know if he can do that in prison.
Can you not? Well, you could earn money in prison, right?
Fuck, I don't know. I mean, he's making $400 a call, so.
Yeah, and you make license plates and shit, and you get like a quarter or whatever.
Yeah.
God, that would be great. I would even pull money together for that to happen.
I'm talking with a manufacturer to see if he wants to sponsor it. I'm really not joking. Like it'd be a one-time sponsorship, you know, brought to you by All Saints Cigars. Hey Mickey, there you go, Mickey.
Oh my God.
I want you to sponsor the Tiger King interview still.
He would be the one to do it.
I know, right? How fucked up would that be?
Tiger King Joe Exotic has a lot of confessions he needs to do too.
Well, see, there you go. Nice crossover episode there. You're right. And I will say, I want it, if for nothing else, for that $400, I want him to say, guess what, motherfuckers? It's time for 3 cigars we smoked and enjoyed this week, so I can get like a proper drop for that. You know,
dude. If you like upped it to like $450, for like you could put like shit on his books, you would do it.
I think so. So okay,
needs to happen.
So 3 cigars that we smoked and enjoyed this week. What have you got for that?
Okay, so my list is gonna be a little fancier than normally because it was my birthday weekend.
Well, yeah.
So these are. I don't smoke like this all the time.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But I had the Atabey we talked about earlier. I believe it was the Ritos. It was like their Toro size.
Okay.
And from what I understand, from what I've read, that seems to be one of the stronger ones that they make too, which is kind of the reason I ordered it.
Yeah.
And then I had, so that was phenomenal. We talked about it. I had the Padron 64 Anniversary Maduro, which is just a go-to, not a go-to, but like it never disappoints.
For sure.
And then I had a Davidoff Winston Churchill late hour.
Look at you smoking good.
Yeah. Those.
I actually just found a late hour digging around in my one of my humidors, looking just to see kind of what I had, and all of a sudden there's this late hour, and I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know that was in there.
And we have talked about this before, but like Davidoff, like great cigars, very smooth and stuff, but they're not strong enough for me.
Well, and that's the thing. And we're talking about the Atabey, and that's the thing. That was my worry with the Atabey, is that it was going to be very Davidoff-like, and it was going to be a little too light, a little too smooth. And but the flavor on the Atabey was what kicked that up. But yeah.
So yeah, for the Davidoff line, the Winston Churchill late hour and the Nicaragua are my favorite.
You're right in line with me there. So so my first one is one of my go-tos. It was the Perdomo Habano Sungrown. I did that in the Churchill size while hanging out with the Smoking Butts and Tappin' Ash guys while they were cooking on Saturday. And then later on Saturday, I smoked a Byron. It was the Byron Reserva. I don't know the size though. It was essentially a Toro. It was a little longer than a Toro, so I don't know the size. I don't know the size.
You're smoking. You're smoking pretty fancy too.
Well, I'd been sitting on this Byron since I was out at Two Guys last September. I picked it up there, and it's one of those things. I've been kind of sitting on it. And I was packing up my cigars to head down to their event, and for whatever reason, that one was sitting there, and I saw it, and I'm like, you know what? This is a good day, sitting out by the lake, having barbecue, hanging with everybody. This is a good day to fire up a really good cigar. So I brought that along so I could do that. And
it's remarkable how much like the environment and your surroundings and just where you're at in life affects the cigar smoke. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
Like that would have never, ever crossed my mind to smoke that while I was driving
exactly.
And to be honest, it didn't even cross my mind to do that when I was just sitting out on my patio, by myself enjoying the evening. It was one of those cigars that I'm like, this is too much cigar for just a normal everyday smoke. I wanted this to be a special one. So it worked out there. And then the last one that I had is one that I fired up yesterday, I believe. And it was the All Saints St. Francis in the Toro size there.
Those are all good picks.
Yep. It was
all good picks.
Good smoking week. So
yeah, it was.
And speaking of smoking here, I am down to very little left of my Crux Guild Toro here. I've got a little bit left, but it's still hanging on, and it's still lit. Holy crap. And
there's a retro hail.
The retro hail on the butt here is very spicy. There's a lot of the spice on the last little bit here of the Crux Guild. How's your Camacho?
You kind of similar. I'm on the final third here, and it's definitely the strongest. This final third here, and the spices and the pepper are really amplified here, yeah, especially through the nose. So, I was talking so much I did have to touch it up, but
and it happens.
But otherwise just real pleasantly surprised. Really captures that Nicaraguan spice. So recommended if you're around one, and it's with this size especially, there's some pretty good flavor changes and such.
Now, is that the orange band one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right. I know those a lot by color. It's much like the Crux cigars. The color on those bands, they really pop in the humidor.
Yeah,
and they really
I think
draw your eye.
That was the intent. Once they had that, once Davidoff purchased them, how they exchanged. I think that was kind of the marketing behind it. Just color coded to stand out and stuff, and it does do that for sure.
Well, very cool. So before we wrap this up, I've got one more thing that I want to do, and I want to have a super fight. We haven't had a super fight in a while. And
these I tell you what, these super fights are invaluable because you can use them at your cigar lounge. If you have kids, you can use them with your kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can use them when you're drinking with your buddies. It's good time. It's a good segment. You need a sponsor for that segment. Maybe Joe Exotic wants to do that.
I like that idea. So so the way this is working, I'm drawing some cards here, and I'm drawing 4 of the cards that have different attributes, and then I will draw the fighters themselves. So that one. Some of these though I got to watch because like that one had like a blank and you had to like fill in, and it was just kind of like goofy.
I've had too much moonshine to do any of that.
Okay. So we have 4 here, and we're gonna go with those 4 components, and then we're gonna just random draw what they are. Oh, I don't even know what that is, so we're gonna move down past that one. We'll do that, and we will random draw this one. So, okay. We're going to have a fight.
Okay.
It's going to be between Martha Stewart, who can turn to steel but cannot stop laughing. Okay? So she's turned to steel but can't stop laughing. And she's going to fight a snake that uses the force but explodes if they stop moving.
This is okay. All right. I need to address the elephant in the room. Have you seen 81-year-old Martha Stewart?
Yeah, she's hot.
I don't know. Like, is this Photoshop? Was she always this hot?
I don't know. Healthy living.
Is it weird to fucking fantasize about an 81-year-old?
I mean, she's doing like nude pics. Like, I think they're like tastefully and she's covered in various ways. It's kind of like the naked gardening pics. It's strategic placement. But nonetheless, I mean, at 81, she's doing all right for herself.
Did you ever fucking think that you would find Martha Stewart attractive?
Nah, never.
Exactly.
Of course, then again, Jesus. I also never in a million years would have thought that she and Snoop Dogg would be best friends.
That's the thing. You can never predict this world.
You just can't. So,
you certainly can't. You certainly cannot predict her in steel.
Yeah. So she can turn to steel, but she can't stop laughing.
Okay, and it's just like No, just she's laughing like all the time, like like the Joker.
I guess she's just constantly laughing. She's just in a laughing fit. So I don't know if it's like to where she can't really move or do much of anything.
I mean, you can fucking do a lot while you're laughing, though.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, unless
huge...
you're just like doubled over, just belly laughing and and can barely breathe. I mean, yeah, you can do quite a bit while you're laughing.
So and she's in steel.
And it can turn to steel, yes.
Okay. And she's up against the snake, and it doesn't specify the snake.
Doesn't specify the snake, so we could be talking like a giant anaconda. We could be talking something poisonous. There's all sorts of different snake options there.
I'm gonna have to go out and correct you on that, Mr. Miller. There's no such thing as poisonous snake.
Venomous. I'm sorry.
Venomous.
I know. I am talking to a snake expert. I know. Yeah. I realize. So, yeah. So
the only thing, okay. So
no, go ahead.
Steel Martha Stewart. I was going to say the only thing I've been an expert in lately is looking at Martha Stewart. I'm fucking
beating the snake, huh? Anyway,
so the snake can use the force. Okay,
snake can use the force, but it'll explode if it stops moving.
So it has to be perpetual moving.
It is always moving.
Okay, but and you're more of a nerd with this than I am. The force basically is just levitation, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, let's stop and think about it for a moment. So there's the ability to move objects, obviously, that comes in with the force. But then Vader, he uses the force to kill some of his disobedient crew members. He kind of like does the hand and they like choke and die. So
not to correct this fine card game, but wouldn't like Mr. X be a better one for this?
What do you mean?
But because he can control metal.
Oh, you're talking Magneto?
Magneto, yeah.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, though, like,
you just pulled it at random.
Yeah, I just pulled it random. Okay, so, I mean, if he's in the card game, it's obviously, it's irrelevant right now. But, yeah, so...
So we're basically asking, can the snake be moving enough to choke out Martha Stewart?
Yeah. I mean, and here's the other thing: is the snake moving, like actually like slithering along, or does moving just constitute like maybe wagging its tail? Maybe it's
not okay. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
like staying stationary, but just kind of like wiggling a little.
Well, that would change the species, though, because not all snakes rattle.
Okay.
So I mean, you're gonna have like an anaconda ain't rattling its tail, So you're gonna have a smaller snake, but it could be a venomous one like a rattlesnake. Okay, there's a lot. I'm sorry, there's just a lot to.
But then again, if Martha Stewart can get close and be steel, she could just stomp on the snake, and then the snake's getting crushed by steel.
And if she's having a fucking laughing fit, she could fall on the snake.
True. But if the snake has got force powers, he could catch the falling steel Martha Stewart and throw her, or stop the foot from coming down, So,
but it's kind of, if you're laughing, you're kind of in a relaxed state all the time. Kind of like if you're like drunks never really get too hurt in the car accident.
Yeah,
they're so relaxed
because they're just pliable at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a tough one, and if they fought 10 times, I think it might be like a 7-3, 6-4 type of thing. But for this one-off, I'm gonna go Martha Stewart on this one.
You think the steel and the laughing can take out the force using snake?
I think so.
Maybe. I think where the snake has got a problem is the exploding if they stop moving.
Yes.
I think if the snake had a different other attribute that was tied with the force, I think that would be, a thing.
And the movie isn't clear, because if she's falling on it, it's still going to be, trying to move out of it and wiggle and stuff. Unless it's like truly pinned down. It's just, I would need a bit more clarification on what constitutes moving, I guess.
And I'll also say, if she turns to steel, the fangs aren't going to penetrate steel.
No.
So it's not like the snake could like draw her in close with the force, holder and biter, you know.
Now, is the steel her whole body?
I'm going to say yes because it says can turn to steel. So,
okay, so
I'm assuming yes.
So he couldn't force choke her if she's covered in steel, right?
I mean,
if the throat's exposed, I mean, I don't know.
Here's the thing, though. Like, you can technically crush steel. I mean, it's going to take a lot of pressure.
I didn't fucking see anybody in Star Wars doing that.
No, but I mean, I'm just kind of. I mean, Luke lifted up the X-wing from the swampy thing in Empire Strikes Back. So
that's fair. That's valid.
You know that's a lot of energy and effort.
At the end of the day, it's a good fight. It's one I would pay pay-per-view to watch. But again, I'm going to go with my heart and my penis here, Martha Stewart.
I agree with you on Martha Stewart. I think the steel thing is really difficult for the snake, even with force powers to contend with. But you know, I'll go with you, Martha Stewart for the win. So, all right. Well, now that we have covered that, let's hear about My Monthly Cigars. This would normally be the time that I give some information about My Monthly Cigars, but I've hired that out this week, so take it away.
My Monthly Cigars is a premium cigar subscription service. It comes in a variety of different size boxes at affordable prices. Use offer code PULPIT and get free shipping on your first box and 20% off any items in the online store at mymonthlycigars.com.
That's offer code PULPIT. Thanks.
So, you know, it's a little misleading because you say this would normally be the time. You normally just play the ad. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is that that was done for quite a while back when we were mocking the Cigar Authority and all the commercials.
It's a very good episode.
Yeah, and we had a lot of fun with that. But we did that as a way to include that ad because, you know, they have actual commercials, whereas we kind of tend to incorporate it in. I've just been kind of lazy, and I just continually keep hitting that. But unfortunately, that was also before Nick came out with the fucking good coffee, so I always have to remember to circle back and you know, tell everybody to try the fucking good coffee.
Here's what I think you should do.
Okay.
I think at Pulpit Fest you should re-record that ad.
We can do that. I think we can do that.
You'll have all the principal parties there.
Oh, for sure. I think. I don't know if Nick's coming this year. I don't know. I'll have to circle up with him or not. I know he's going out to the giant New England Cigar Festival, so it's a matter of whether or not he's making both. So
yes, that is, you know, unfortunate timing. Speaking of the Cigar Authority and stuff. Yeah. And being how you have connections to Trey Mack and Aladino as a sponsor.
For sure.
What do you think of their new Aladino ad?
Oh, you're talking about the what song? It was the Sonny and Cher song, wasn't it?
I've got you, baby.
Yeah. You know what? Look, those guys should not be singing nearly as much as they do.
You know what? I thought about that. And I think that's part of the charm, honestly.
But yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's one of those things that I'm saying I don't think they should be singing as much as they do, but I actually do kind of like it better than the ad that they had running before, because the ad they had running before was just a basic, you know, telling of the story, and it was a voiceover and whatever. And this one, it's got that something different that people will remember. I mean, let's be real. Yeah, they've said it. They've said it. I already referenced it tonight. You know, Jose Dominguez, that ad. You know, them singing about the stupid donut. I mean, it's pretty catchy. So, yeah, that Aladino one. It might just take a little time to get used to it, but I think I think they might have something with that one.
Yeah, for me, it's like I was like, this is dumb. And then by the end of the episode, I'm singing it like to myself, and I think that's part of the charm because I'm a shitty singer. There, like you could just, you know, you could sing like Dave Garofalo. You know what I mean? And I was definitely doing that. It's definitely an earwig for sure.
we've had listeners that have said that when they're in the humidor and they see the Villigers, they'll be singing to themselves, Villiger, and all that.
Exactly,
So it's,
yeah.
So maybe it's one of those things that when people are in the humidor and they see the Aladinos, they'll be all, Corojo, Aladino, Corojo, and
exactly.
I don't know, maybe. But, we'll have to revisit all that when they finally accept my generous offer of all the rotisserie chickens and everything else that we've offered up.
Maybe it's because I'm a sucker for rotisserie chicken. That seems like a fair offer.
I think so.
I
You know what's actually funny? A little behind the scenes here. Not this past Friday, but the Friday prior, I was at the grocery store and I walked by the deli where they had the case of the rotisserie chickens, and they were just rotating slowly on the spits. And I took a little 3-second long video and sent it to Mr. Jonathan and to Dave. And I no words. I just sent it to them, and both of them were like, "That's nice." And I'm like, "Well, it could be yours. It could be yours." So, I'll tell you what would really seal the deal. If I were in their position and I had somebody approaching and offering me all this stuff, the thing that I would ask for, the thing that I haven't offered up yet, that I'm spilling the beans here. So if Dave's listening, he's going to hear what my trump card is here. But have you gone to a hotel and they have that machine where you push the button and it makes a pancake for you?
No.
Dude, this is an amazing machine. So, like, I first saw it.
What hotels are you staying at?
Holiday Inn. They've got them at Holiday Inns and whatnot. But it's a pancake machine, and you load in the batter, and you push the button, and it kind of poops the batter onto the conveyor belt, and then it just like very slowly takes the batter, that's in a round shape because it spurts it onto the conveyor belt, and it just heats up the batter and cooks the pancake, and just out the side, it's just a little thing, and just drops the pancake right onto your plate.
This sounds like some sorcery.
It's amazing, and I want one for my house. But even above and beyond that, if somebody were to say, "Hey, we want to buy your podcast for rotisserie chickens, broken lawnmower, blah 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 blah, and all that," the thing I would counter back and say, like, "Okay, I'll take all that if you throw in a pancake machine," and I would seriously consider that.
I don't even like pancakes, and I want one.
See. Right there.
What's that? This will be up your alley. What's that fucking machine they have in Star Trek where you can make anything?
The replicator.
That sounds like something from that.
It's very similar, except that it only makes pancakes.
Not Earl Grey tea.
No, it's not gonna make the Earl Grey tea or whatever else you ask it for. But I would be down for a pancake machine. I think that would be a really good addition to my kitchen.
You know what I would ask the replicator for?
What's that?
Naked Martha Stewart.
Naked Martha Stewart. I don't know if it can make people, but maybe one of the transporter people has her patterns in the buffer, and they can just like make a clone.
With AI, I mean,
there's that too.
I tell you what, that AI Jeff episode you did, I literally I didn't know that wasn't Jeff. I had to listen to that twice because
You're too kind, because there were a few times that the one time when I accidentally hit the button by mistake and had him say buffed one out, and then I was like, wait, what did you say? And I kind of had to play off of it because I didn't want to re-record up to that point, But oh my, I mean, yeah, it was that was an undertaking. It was definitely an undertaking.
It's creepy that you're able to do that, and also weird that Jeff can be just like a pull string doll of sound bites.
And I only went through maybe 5 shows to clip those. I mean, imagine if I would have gone through the other 390 something episodes that were available to me to actually be able to, really get a whole soundboard going of all kinds of different stuff. But yeah,
you had the most used ones. I think that's the important thing.
There was one that I didn't have, and I thought about it later, and I feel like I missed out. I didn't have. That's a good stick.
Oh, actually, I thought you did. Okay.
No, I did not. I realized after the fact that well, let me check the soundboard, but I don't believe I had that in there to be able to.
He says that like every episode. He says that
I know.
Every episode.
That's like his go-to, review is that's a good stick. No. Oh, we had This Is a Good Cigar, but we didn't have That's a Good.
Enough.
We didn't have That's a Good Stick. So
well,
I don't know.
AI is not there yet, I guess.
No. I don't know. I was talking to Trey Mack. He knows more about this stuff than I do, and so I mean, I did it the old-fashioned way. I went through clips and made the MP3s and built the soundboard out with that. But Trey Mack was telling me, he's like, dude, some of these AIs, you just load in your episodes and it'll totally like make a whole like thing, for him, and it'll just have like all of his, it'll be able to do everything. But I think that's, to be honest, probably a much more sophisticated AI program than I wish to pay for. So,
and we could all agree AI is editing Skynet, right?
Oh, it's 100% Skynet.
Yeah,
it's 100% Skynet. And was it you or was it Luke that sent me an Instagram video on this very topic about it being basically?
It's probably Luke. I don't remember. I sent a lot of fucking reels though.
It was Luke. It was Luke.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll have to forward that to you. But basically, it asked this AI robot, what would be a nightmare scenario it can imagine between AI and robotics that might present a danger to people, and it like came up with an answer, and it's pretty spooky. So
why were they not fucking interviewing Edward Furlong for all this?
I have no idea.
That's a mistake. He's not dead, is he?
Edward Furlong? I don't know.
I haven't heard from him in a long time.
I was going to say, now that you bring that up, I don't know. Let's to the Googles,
His career is certainly dead, at the very least.
Edward Furlong. He looks rough in the picture that came right up. No, he's 45. He's not dead.
God, that makes me feel old.
Yeah.
The last thing I remember him in was American History X.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what? Let's check his Wikipedia or his IMDb.
Yeah.
And see. There it is, Edward Furlong. Known for Terminator 2. Apparently he plays a guy named Billy in The Forest Hills, which comes out or is out this year. He was in a movie called Heart of a Champion in 2023.
A great film, I imagine.
He was apparently referenced in Terminator Dark Fate in 2019. I don't know. He's listed here, so I guess he's like in it somehow. He was in a movie called The Reunion in 2017. Yeah, there's a lot of really just bad movies that
Could you think of a better
never
casting?
heard of.
Could you think of a better casting than Robert Patrick in that second Terminator movie?
No, he was perfect as a killing machine robot.
Perfect. Yes. Just God.
Looks like the last big thing that he was in was he played a guy named Tupper in the 2011 Green Hornet movie.
Okay.
That
about explains Edward Furlong, I think.
Yeah, and I mean that's even giving it a lot of credit, saying that that's a big movie, because I think it was a big flop, to be honest. He was in Detroit Rock City in 1999. Then we get back to 1998 when he was in American History X. And, so, it was not a lot of stuff. Terminator 2 is really where it started for the guy.
Yeah, he peaked early,
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. If you do get Joe Exotic as a soundbite,
yeah,
you can for sure buy the Cigar Authority with that.
Oh, I mean, especially if I have him record this is Joe Exotic and you're listening to the fucking Cigar Authority or something like that, and
you don't need to mix audio to get Winston Churchill's grandson.
Okay, and I'll give Ed a lot of credit because apparently he pulled that together and whatnot. But isn't that
because I listened to that episode. He certainly never said that.
I know. And is that not the most painful, of all of the little celebrity intro drop things that they play? That one is it's just painful because it's so obvious that this guy has no idea what he's saying at the time, and then they pulled it together, and it's just like, yeah, this is rough.
It played a little bit like a hostage video.
Like, say this or we're going to kill this dog. Yeah.
Hold up this newspaper.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, we did My Monthly. We did all the rest of that. So I think we are about good. So final thoughts on your Camacho Nicaragua?
I would definitely smoke it again. I would like to probably try it in a smaller size to see if there's any difference, if the spice kicks up in a Robusto or something. But yeah, I would definitely purchase the cigar again.
Perfect. And I really enjoyed my Crux Guild Toro there. The what was that name of that one? It was a special name for that. It was the extra Marblehead. I don't know what that's all about, but
yeah. Some of these names in the cigars, this is too much.
It's just a lot, yeah. But
especially the Opus Extra, I never got into any of that. It's like the rare pinks and stuff. It's just stupid.
And the shark and this and that and whatever. Yeah. I don't understand it. And then they even have the different names for the different sizes. And it's like, I just wish we had like uniform size names to where it was like Corona, Robusto, Toro, Gordo, but everybody's doing different names for their sizes, it seems like too. And so it does get confusing.
Arturo Fuente is like the most confusing cigar to shop for at brick and mortar. Like, everything looks the same.
Oh my gosh, you're preaching
1,000 SKUs.
Yep, yeah. You're preaching the choir, and I've said this to Dan at Riverman, and I don't disagree with you because you're right. They all generally look the same. Apparently, there's some sort of like code to the color of the ribbon on the bottom of the cigars. Okay. But even that, I know that, but I don't know what they are off the top of my head, and so I do agree. It is generally a confusing cigar line to go in and say like I want this specific one.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's so many SKUs, so many different sizes. I really do. I am a big fan of the Don Carlos. So that's a good cigar.
Yeah, that is a good cigar. What is the one? It's the Casa Fuente. The one out in Vegas, the cigar that's made for that shop, that has kind of trickled out to a few Fuente location or retailers around the country. They started doing that during COVID, and that's a really good cigar as well. But yeah, and that's the thing. I don't necessarily have anything against the Fuente cigars. I actually like a lot of them. Mm-hmm. Some of them are a little too mild for my taste. The Sun-Grown, I think it's the Sun-Grown 858 is really good. But generally my problem is, like you're saying, it's hard for me to go into humidor and look at the Fuentes and say, okay, that's the one I like,
Mm-hmm. So it's confusing for sure.
Yep. So,
and somebody signed off on this, like they have a marketing team behind this,
Oh, I would think so. I would think they have a huge one. So, yeah. So and I guess if you want brand consistency, with their marketing, they definitely have that, but I think it's almost too much. So,
yeah, I mean, with Fuente, it's a lot like Padron. You'll just, those loyal, like, heritage smokers just swear by them,
Yeah, and they know what they're getting, so they understand all this. It's guys like us that are like, I want to try this, and I don't get it. So, well, very cool. Well, Noah, I really do appreciate you taking time out of your evening to do this. It was nice catching up, and
my pleasure. It was I needed an excuse to drink this moonshine. So
there you go. Well, there you go. And what is the final thought on the jalapeno cornbread moonshine? Would you get it again?
I would not.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know the company that makes it, but
okay.
Yeah, I would not advise it.
It was a one and done purchase. So
yes.
All right. Well, there you go. Well, guys, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick.
This is Noah.
Everybody stay safe and stay smoky. For as long as this feels when I've got somebody else, it feels really long when I'm by myself.
Yeah, and you're not staring. It's weird when you're not staring at it,
Yeah. Yep.
We gotta put an Easter egg in here though.
Oh yeah.
Easter egg.
It's Easter egg time.
Okay, what do you got? What do you got for an Easter egg?
Oh God, I don't know. This is always really random.
Let's see here.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
We'll do a bonus one must go. One must go. Paulie, Christopher, or fuck, I'm blanking. Fucking Stevie Van Zandt.
Stevie Van Zandt.
I'm blanking on the character's name.
It's contagious. I can't.
The consigliere.
Yeah, I know. I can't. I just think it was Stevie.
Son of a bitch. Gervais is screaming at his radio right now.
Yeah, I'm screaming at myself.
I know. It's like I'm Googling because I just
Silvio Dante.
Silvio. Yes. Okay, so there you go. One must go. Christopher, Paulie, or Silvio.
I tell you what, and this is gonna be a long Easter egg, but like I said, I could talk about Sopranos for the longest time. To me, like it hurt a lot when I texted you that hey Tony Sirico.
Yeah.
That was a tough one. And I would say that he was my favorite character, except that shit that he did whatever season it was where he beat up that old lady. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And
well, dude, spoiler alert. I mean, it's an older show, so at this point,
30 years ago.
Yeah, I think we can just go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would have said, Chris.
Dude, I don't know if there's.
Ironically, they basically all wept. Like
kind of.
Silvio is like up in the air, but God.
But I mean,
Chris
like
had the drug problems, but you really saw him arch his character.
You tried, but man, like every time he got better, something else drug him down, and it seemed like, and it always felt like he got better and was like, I'm dedicated to this, like, whatever. And then later on, he'd be back to doing stupid shit and not be dedicated to it anymore, and whatever. So
yeah, you convinced me. Spider's got to go. Yeah,
I feel like it's Christopher.
Yeah, Christopher's got to go.
Now, did you watch Lilyhammer?
I did. It was a little cheesy, but I mean, I did finish it.
Yeah,
it was okay. I guess.
I kind of want to feel like it's the further adventures of Silvio, but
I think Tulsa King was a lot better than Lilyhammer.
I haven't watched Tulsa King yet, so I will have to do that. Okay, is he in that?
No.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just saying it as like a fucking mafia show that's not Sopranos.
Okay.
Yeah, Christopher's got to go. Just the drugs are too much.
Yeah. It was a bit too. Although, man, for my money, I don't know if it gets much better than Pine Barrens.
Oh, yeah, that was a great
with
episode,
him and Paulie out in that van and just all the wackiness with them. I mean. It's just such a fucking great episode. And Tony calling him, with the bad signal, and he's like telling them all the freaking military experience this guy's got. And they're like, he's an interior decorator, and what?
His apartment looked like shit. Yeah, I quote that episode all the time. Like, I'll often say like, put the remote back on docking station. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
quit eating all the ketchup.
Yeah, exactly. He rips the carpet. Give me some of that carpet, Oh God. Yeah.
All right, there's your Easter egg.
There it is. All right. Thanks, guys. Take it easy.
All right, stay smoky.